We often look up at the stars and wonder about a lot of things our wishes, our dreams, and a lot more. But what if I tell you the story of someone who did not just look up at the stars and dreamed, but made it a reality to reach the stars? India's journey into space is not just a tale of technological advancement, it is a story of persistence, vision, and purpose. Going to space and exploring it might have seemed ambitious when the nation was still grappling with basic developmental challenges. However, a foundational step was taken in 1962, marking the beginning of a journey that made India among the world's foremost space-faring nations. It was the year 1962. India was at a new beginning as it was standing on its own feet post-independence. And soon came into the picture the visionary scientist, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. Dr. Sarabhai formed the Indian National Committee for Space Research for the use to solve real-life issues such as weather forecasts, communications, and of course education. The INCO spur later in 1969 got the name ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. Tumba, a fishing village in Kerala, India, launched its first sounding rocket, a Nike Apache provided by NASA on November 21, 1963. The village was selected for its proximity to the magnetic equator. With the launch, the country marked its initial foray into atmospheric research. The Nike Apache was launched from a church-turned lab and a beach that became a launch pad, which later was named as the Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station. The need for a dedicated organization kept increasing as the scope of space research expanded. On 15 August 1969, INCOSPER was restructured as the India Space Research Organization (ISRO). From an exploratory committee for simple and basic experiments to a fully fledged national agency for the real launches, India was ready. India launched its first satellite, Aryabhatta, from the Soviet Union in 1975. Aryabhatta, named after the great ancient Indian mathematician, marked India's official entry into space tech. India was not just launching dreams anymore, it was putting them in orbit. By the early 1980s, India developed its own rocket, SLV-3, and with all its dedication and hard work, India attempted its first satellite launch on July 18, 1980, when Rohini satellite RS-1 was placed atop SLV-3 rocket. With this, India emerged as the seventh country in the world to build and launch satellites independently. Unfortunately, due to an internal malfunctioning caused by a software bug, it failed during its takeoff. In the year 1988, the launch of IRS-1A signaled a strategic shift towards Earth observation. India's remote sensing program is considered as ISRO's biggest achievement and since then has provided data for agriculture, forestry, disaster management, and urban planning. With this, India has been positioned as a global leader in remote sensing. ISRO in the 1990s expanded both its application and launch programs. The INSAT series improved telecommunication, TV broadcasting, and meteorology infrastructure, while the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle PSLV emerged as an affordable launch vehicle. By 1999, India started attracting global clients as it launched multiple satellites simultaneously and enhanced its reputation. On October 22, 2008, ISRO's first mission to the moon, Chandrayaan-1, was lifted off. It carried advanced instruments like terrain mapping camera, hyperspectral imager, lunar laser ranging instrument with an aim to map lunar surface and detect water molecules. And India was successful in discovering water molecules on the moon. And India placed a moon impact probe containing the Indian tricolor flag. With this, India became the fourth nation after the US, Russia, and China to do so. India launched its Mars Orbiter mission, or Mangalyaan, on November 5, 2013. It achieved Martian orbit on its first attempt in September 2014. With this achievement, it also became the Asian first nation to reach Mars and the first globally to do so in a single attempt, at a fraction of the cost of comparable missions. In February 2017, ISRO stunned the world by launching 104 satellites in its PSLV C-37 rocket in a single mission. 96 of them were from the US. In this period, ISRO also collaborated with foreign space agencies like NASA, ESA, and JAXA on various missions. India was widely appreciated by the international space community, and the world began to recognize India as a reliable global launch partner and not just as a space power. ISRO is now eyeing on its manned space flight mission, solar observation, and lunar exploration. Aiming to place astronauts in low Earth orbit, Gaganyaan will be India's first human spaceflight mission. Chandrayaan 3 is designed to achieve a soft landing on the moon's south pole, and Aditya L1 to study solar flares and space weather. ISRO is also developing a small satellite launch vehicle with an aim to reduce launch costs and launch small satellites. By the year 2030, ISRO is planning to establish an independent space station, hence India's space program story is far from complete. What began as a mere modest effort to serve the nation has evolved into a globally respected enterprise. While ISRO is preparing for its next chapters, its guiding principle, technology in service of humanity, remains unchanged.